where to ward the Queen.
Your cause owns a power that has not been seen since the days of old Valyria.
Episode 10.
Episode 10, The Black Queen.
Episode 10.
Well, it was so
House of
funny
Dragon.
because episode 9 was called Green Council and episode 10 is called The Black Queen. Right? So because obviously all that stuff is going on. But out of all the finales, actually, I wish I didn't spoil it for myself before I saw what was gonna happen.
Well, don't spoil it for me.
What are you talking about? You already watched it, right?
No, I mean, don't spoil the rest of the series for me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I will not do that. I can, but I won't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm such a good friend.
Yeah.
But so essentially, I spoiled it for myself. That's the hard thing is I get so wrapped up My Hero Academia and then House of the Dragon, all these things that have pre-existing content. I just spoil it. I just spoiled My Hero Academia for me just yesterday. And, obviously the whole series of House of the Dragon is done for me in my mind because I've already gone through it all. And unless they plan on making changes, it's going to be what it is, right? For the most part. Yeah,
but there's still the excitement of watching it live or in a live action format, right?
That's true.
People saying the lines, famous quotes or for certain
music,
certain events taking place that is going to happen. I think in those cases, it builds up the anticipation more. It makes it more exciting.
That is true. Someone had told me about Grey's Anatomy and how two important characters are gonna pass away, and then where the moment's gonna happen. I think I cried more when it happened than I would have if I didn't know, because it was sad. I was like, oh, this is sad. And then but I was getting my hair cut, and then the girl's like, oh yeah, did so they renamed the hospital and these people died. I was like,
yeah,
no,
actually, the series that does this really well is Star Wars.
Okay, so we left off episode 9 with Rhaenys, blowing smoke or blowing roars at the Green Council, and it flies away. Rawr, flies away.
Yeah.
But they do talk about it when she gets to Dragonstone.
I like how Damon instantly addresses the question.
That everyone was asking the week before.
It's why didn't you just blow them? Why didn't you just smite them with all the fire on the spot?
Dragon fire to smithereens.
Yeah, why didn't you just end it all at that very spot?
Yeah, and then she of course says, "It's not my fight to fight. See you later."
Yeah, that's a no answer type of answer.
Yeah, and that's kind of yeah. Sometimes that
makes no sense.
I know it didn't make sense. She could have ended months and years of bloodshed and houses. Of course, I would think that a good majority of people already know the House of the Dragons ends in a particular way because of Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Plus, Rhaenys is a Targaryen. I'm sure their family is executed people for far less.
I know that's what's so crazy. It's was she feeling sympathy or didn't want to kill them because it was someone else's fight, or was it because
it is her fight? She's a Targaryen.
Yeah.
She said it herself. She came to warn them out of duty to her family.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing for executing them with her dragon.
I know, right? Well, and all the while, there's a lot of things to break down in this episode, but all the while, Rhaenyra is also pregnant with her and Damon's third child, I believe, and it's a daughter. And because of the I guess stressful news,
I think it's the fourth child, right?
Was it? I think it's the third one. Number 6.
Number
Number
6.
5. Yeah, number 5. Number 5.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah, number 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's child number 5 for her.
Yeah. So, child number 5, she's pregnant with Visenya, and I guess receiving the disheartening news, or devastating, I guess, because it's a double whammy, right? One was her father's dead, and then the second part of the news is like, oh yeah, the Greens took over usurp your throne, and now you're gonna try to give birth.
Well, they said that was it was before her term was due, so.
Yeah, well, I think it forced
early birth. Yeah, it was
induced labor.
All that stress, man, from
dragons and sisters.
All of that King's Landing stress is not good. Moral of the story.
And brothers. Yeah, I know.
Moral of the story: don't have children in the Game of Thrones era.
Actually, the beginning, of course, starts with birth. Episode 1 starts with birth, and then, of course, midway through, right? Rhaenyra's daughter also gives birth and then passes because she ends up burning herself. And then
Rhaenyra's daughter. What?
I said Rhaenys daughter. Rhaenys daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Rhaenys daughter, ends up dying by dragon fire. And then now we have.
She was gonna die anyway because they were gonna perform the C-section.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. So Daemon has a lot of kids. He's just like popping them babies out. Like there's no
tomorrow. Wait, how many Daemon has
4. The same. He has 4.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Everyone.
Lena.
Yeah, so it would have been her, and it would have been her. Rhaenyra's and Daemon's 5th child. For both of them.
Well, it would have been Rhaenyra's 5th child, regardless. But it would have been their second child. No, her 3rd child with Daemon, I think.
No, wait, she has
2 with Strong, and then 3 with Daemon, right?
No, I think she has 3 with Strong.
Who's the 3rd one?
Wasn't it? Oh no. What?
I thought you had 2 with Strong.
I'm so confused. There's so many babies.
She's just that's just the nature of things. They're just baby makers. Pop them out.
Baby makers. That's what you're born to do. Yeah, they only have 2. It's Aegon and Viserys. That's it. I thought it was cool when, this of course is episode 9, when Rhaenyra went to King Viserys and said, "Oh, we named our son Viserys."
Viserys.
Yeah, Viserys, and then he was like, "Oh, so happy." He seems so happy.
Yeah.
What a strong name. No, I'm just kidding. Strong name.
Viserys the Peaceful.
Yeah, that's right. Well, wait, how do you know that his name is Viserys the Peaceful?
That's how they refer to him the entire time after his death. When they're doing the eulogy where Otto Hightower names him, he calls like Viserys the Peaceful, blah 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 blah.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right. This, of course, after having, that one scene with the whole like giving birth, all the while that they're planning this war, was extremely like hard to watch, because Daemon was just like planning the war, and then she's calling for him, and then he's like, just ignore it. It's not
he is traumatized.
Yeah. Okay. So was he upset because of the throne, or was he upset because of his brother?
I think there's a lot of things. I think Daemon just does not cope with all of it.
Yeah, it's a lot to process, right? It's a lot to process.
I think he was just shutting it all out, honestly.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
No,
given his experience with his previous wife. Birth.
People process grief very differently, and people have been going through loss very quickly in this show, so it is a little bit tough. Anyway, Rhaenyra is a trooper. She pops that baby out. Looks like, in the book it says that it looked like a dragon. In the TV show it just looked like a regular miscarriage.
Malformed. I think the point is it. I think the point is it's malformed, or it came out.
That's what happens when you sleep with your cousin or your uncle.
True. Inbreeding.
deformation.
Yeah.
Yeah, inbreeding. The inbreeding was
More of the story of Game of Thrones. Don't inbreed.
Yeah, don't inbreed, don't have babies,
Yeah, don't have babies and don't inbreed with your relatives. Yeah.
with your yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
After the birth of their stillborn daughter, they of course have the funeral, and I actually it makes me now look back how quickly the pacing was for this episode. Like even though we're talking about it now, like in my head, I'm like,
True.
oh, God.
I don't know how I feel about the quick pacing for this season.
I mean, they have a lot of story that they need to pump in
Yeah,
there.
I know. And I'm saying I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like they could go slower if they wanted to.
Right. Maybe. I mean, I guess with 4 seasons or 5 seasons, but maybe 5 seasons was too long, and then they felt like 3 to 4 seasons was
They could have
enough.
done it. They could have done it like a Game of Thrones, where it's all 8 seasons.
8 seasons. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure people don't mind more seasons of the Game of Thrones series. But I feel like, then at the same time, they have a timeline because they do have all of those other shows in play.
I think another concern,
Yeah.
for behind the scenes was they didn't want the actors to grow too fast. So the thing is, if they drug it on, right, these actors will become very old very soon. You know what I mean? It's not like every year, oh, this happens. Like it's like the Stranger Things kids. You're worried about them pretending to have to still be in high school when they're not in high school anymore. You know what I mean?
Just time skip or kill off all the children.
And then recast.
And then recast, yeah.
Maybe that's not it. But I think when I mean, it was a little jolting for me when we went from young Renea and then we went from young Alison Hightower to the older ones.
Yeah, like they could have done that. They could have just stuck with one actor and then
grew them through the years.
Yeah.
I liked her a lot. I really liked her a lot. And then when they did the new ones, I'm like, you kind of don't look the same. Your nose and your eyes don't look the same.
Okay, I don't think that's what people were looking at, but sure.
That's what I was like. I was trying to compare accents, and I remember the interview with the actress who plays Renea. She was all like, "Oh man, she made my job so hard," because she was so good. But so during this, of course, trial and tribute moment, we do get Eric, who actually comes one of the twins that we talked about in the last episode. Carl Glee, Cargyll. How do you pronounce that?
Eric. Let's just call him Eric.
Okay, Eric with the double RYK.
Is it Eric or Arik? Because the brother's name is.
It's Eric. It's Sir Eric.
Okay, because the twin is Arik, is with the A, right? Spelled the same way, but with an A.
Yeah, exactly. That's so weird. Anyway, that
Eric
actually.
and
Dude, have you seen Blockbuster?
No.
Oh, you gotta watch Blockbuster on Netflix. It's pretty good.
That's not relevant.
I know it's not relevant, but it's entertainment. It's a TV show. Anyway, that's my plug. My plug for that TV show. It's pretty good.
You don't even work for them. What are you plugging in for them? Sponsor us.
I know. Well, I just hope that who's the guy who plays Fresh Off the Boat and plays forget his name. Maybe he'll check it out. He'll check out the Randall Park. I hope he watches our podcast.
Great. Send it to him.
I'm talking to you, Randall Park.
Yeah.
I like Blockbuster. It's a good show.
Yeah, maybe you put a VHS and send it to him via email, via mailbox.
I know, right? It's like, oh, P.O. Box. So Eric Calgary comes to the funeral, of Visenya, and then lo and behold, he brings
the crown.
The Crown.
Yeah.
You watch that show too? That's a good show too. The Crown.
You watched The Crown?
I have watched The Crown. Yes. Have you watched The Crown?
I watched parts of season 1.
It's really good. Has the girl from Harry Potter. I like her.
Emma Watson?
No. The Miss the old lady who was punishing Harry. She was the defense of the dark arts. In Order of the Phoenix.
Oh, I don't remember Harry Potter. It's been
what?
So long.
How can you
don't remember her name either.
Yeah, I know her name.
What's her name?
Is
Dolores.
Yeah. Dolores. Exactly. Is it
I
Dolores?
just remember her as a lady in pink.
Yeah, she was very, very pink. But she's also the queen, right?
Is she?
I mean, no, sorry. She was in The Crown. She's in... I know,
Okay.
we're going on too many tangents here.
You're going on so many tangents.
I know. Anyway, we see Eric brings Viserys' crown and then presents it to her as the Black Queen. And everyone bends the knee. Except for...
who are all those people with her?
I think it's just her family.
No. I mean,
Is
like
that the Cordies? No,
the other noble-looking people who are at the funeral.
I mean, she has her own Kingsguard, so she has a.
No, I'm not talking about the Kingsguard. I'm talking about those noble-looking people that were bending the knee at the funeral.
I mean, it must have been her friends and family.
They're not family, but I don't think they were friends either.
Probably people of the court. Must be people of the court.
Everyone's at the court's at King's Landing. What court? I
No,
just don't know who they are.
Court. I mean, like, essentially, Dragon's Keep still has, like, a kingdom, and it still has a court, so she has an advisory board and all that good stuff.
I guess.
Yeah, I think that's who they are. I mean, I could be wrong, but who knows?
I guess,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, so that happens, and everyone, of course, now doubles down on war, trying to figure out who will be doing what.
Well, it's not even the war yet, right? It's the
preseason.
It's the precursor to war.
Yeah.
So Rhaenyra hasn't declared war on anything.
Oh, you are 100% true. She has not declared war, and we
also do see, like, Lord Corlys.
Doesn't he come around?
Before that, or not? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Corlys Velaryon.
Ooh, the sick man,
the dead man, who isn't dead. A dead man who's not dead.
Yeah.
The Lord of Driftmark. He's alive.
Right. Does that happen before Otto comes?
I have no idea. But that's not important. That doesn't matter. I'm just talking about him. I'm just talking about the fact that he's alive. I thought he was just going to stay dead, and then
actually, that's what I thought too.
And then Rhaenys was going to take over. And then it was going to be like the two queens ruling the war or something like that. Sister.
What are we doing?
Sisters in battle.
Yeah.
Queens in battle.
Yeah, queens in battle. But he apparently is alive and recovers, and they of course are still a little upset with the son burning right to death, and then of course
that brings up a good point. Do they actually think he's dead, or do they kind of know the truth of it?
She was crying. Rhaenys was crying pretty.
At the very, very first sight of him.
Right. She's like, no.
But a lot of time has passed. You know,
those jumps. Like, gotta appreciate those jumps.
Could they have known afterwards?
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, he looked like he was covered. He went with his gay lover over to wherever they went to.
Yeah, but that's why I'm asking. Do you think Rhaenys and Corlys kind of figured out the actual truth?
Because they do talk about, like, oh, do you want to support the people who, like, embarrassed and...
Yeah, but when you say murder, I mean, that could just mean politically, right? Or killed their current lives. Doesn't necessarily mean doesn't actually mean they're referring to him killing them physically. That's what I'm asking. Do you think there's a possibility that they actually know for a fact, or they know? I mean, not the fact. They know the truth that he's actually, still alive.
I don't think they know the truth. I don't think they know.
You don't think Rhaenys...
I feel like, especially if you're the Lord of Driftmark, you probably put some resources to look for him.
Yeah, he is the Lord of Driftmark, so I mean, I'm pretty sure it's hard to keep any information of the sea away from him, including your own.
I mean, unless they didn't recognize him. I mean, he shaved his head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you can shave your head, it doesn't make a difference. You're still going to be recognized with your,
Well,
facial
like
features.
Reincarnation Jobless, where they have the scabbard people that, if they have green hair and the jewel in the middle, like he wore a hat and nobody knew he was one of those bad guys.
Because, well, this is another tangent. It's because he was hiding in plain sight. That was the thing. It's like he wasn't trying to hide his features.
Well, I was thinking that, like, similarly, right? You shave your head without the white hair.
That's like saying Superman and Clark Kent aren't recognizable.
They aren't, because people don't know his true identity.
No, that's always been a major trope. Is why is it that Clark Kent, or why is it nobody can see the resemblance between Clark Kent and Superman?
It's like Sailor Moon knowing
No.
Sailor Moon and Serena Usago. Nobody can tell
I'm so
them.
lost.
Let's
just stick to the script.
Okay. Anyway,
I don't even know what you're saying anymore.
All you got to do is shave your head and then you're good to go.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. So
Apparently.
now we have the Black Queen, and now we have the Black Council.
The Green Council.
The Black Council. Like, she created her own Black Council.
Oh yeah, but they're not calling it the Black Council.
I know. I'm calling it that.
Why are you? It just refers to the small council. That's confusing.
The small council, yeah, the small council. Then, they do kind of do an audit of all their allies and who's on their team.
Sure.
They talk about the Starks, which
they have no military power or no army.
Well, they have Driftmark, and that's why I think it, like you said, it was.
No, they have Driftmark, meaning they have the sea lanes, but that was only found out. Oh, you know what? The visit from Valerian was after Hightower's visit.
That's what I said.
I said I wasn't sure. I didn't know. But now I know. But now thinking about it, makes
Valerian,
sense.
of course, making the decision. I mean, it is also a very tense moment. He does decide. He's like, oh, even though you ruined my family, welcome. Well, I'm gonna help you.
You could argue he ruined his own family.
Yeah. It's so weird that in this scene, Jace, Jacaerys, he recommends that him and his brother go as envoys to the locations that they're trying to convince, right? So Storm's End, of course, the Starks, Winterfell, all of that, and it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it's so weird to volunteer to do it.
Well, they're men by now, or Jace is.
Yeah, but I mean, going on Dragonback, I guess.
Yeah, because like they said, dragons are a lot more convincing when you see it in person, delivering a message.
Yeah, and they're scary too when they're big. They're big.
Well, big and breathe fire.
Breathe fire. Yeah. So Rhaenyra does tell them to go as envoys only. Do not engage in any fights. Which I guess apparently, in terms of this world, being an envoy means you just don't fight.
Well, being an envoy means you also get certain protection rights.
I guess so. Is that something that they all agreed to?
Yeah, it's a code of conduct kind of. The term "don't shoot the messenger."
Yeah, that's true.
Similar concept.
Okay. Yeah. So his mom gives him a letter, and then they have a real touching moment, like, hey, you'll be okay.
Did you know that was gonna come? Oh, I guess you knew because you kind of spoiled the entire thing.
I read the whole book, so I mean, if you're following along with us, you're listening.
Well, I don't know the book, but I knew that was coming regardless.
Yeah, how did you know?
It's Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And I figured, it kind of resembles a lot of the season 1 from Game of Thrones, where it ends with a big event happening. Yeah. And it's like, I figured this, and I figured, like, I knew there was a war coming, so I have to start somewhere, if not from Rhaenyra initiating it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I knew, like, this was going to happen. I didn't know who it was going to be, but
it's so funny you say it's going to happen, but we haven't even told people listening what's going to happen.
Well, you're assuming that people who are listening to this are like, oh, I don't know anything about Game of Thrones. I'm going to spoil the entire season.
Let's see. How many viewers were on episode 10? Oh, I see. Episode 10 sees 9.3 million viewers.
Cool.
So not as much as the initial, the first season, but I mean the first episode or the second episode, but definitely, I mean, up there in the 10 million count. But I mean, do you think that all of those people knew what was going to happen?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone knew if they're familiar with Game of Thrones itself. Or, you know, even if they didn't know it was coming, they're not surprised.
Right. Yeah, I guess, you know, there was no surprises.
Yeah. Plus, you know, season 1 of Game of Thrones ends with Ned Stark being beheaded.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That was a shocking moment. So I figured, you know, something of similar value had to happen for House of Dragon. Like, and in this case, it was what's his name? Not Jace, but who's the younger brother's name?
Luke.
Yeah.
Luke
Targaryen.
Yeah, isn't it Viserys? Oh, Targaryen. Yeah, he is a Targaryen. No, he is Lucerys Velaryon. He's a Velaryon because the dad was the son of Corlys Velaryon.
Yeah, but he's dead. So now they're all Targaryens. And he has Targaryen blood.
Okay. Yeah, that's it's your time warping reality, like Rick and Morty. Retcon. You're retconning it.
Whatever.
You didn't see it. You didn't see the episode. I have all these references. You didn't see the episode.
Yeah.
Of Rick and Morty. It was
now
so
you know how I feel when I make references and you don't ever respond to them because you didn't
respond
catch it.
to them.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I have to tell you half the time.
Yeah, but at least I am like, oh, can you explain it to me? What is it?
No, you don't. You're like, yeah, I'm not listening. That's like 90% of the time. It's like, yeah, I wasn't listening. Yeah, whatever you say. Yeah, I'm not listening.
That's too funny. Okay.
But anyway, Luke goes to Stormman to deliver the message, right? Relatively supposed to be the safest thing. What he finds instead is Aemon Targaryen, his
favorite
cousin.
No, it's not his cousin. It's his nephew.
Whatever, his relative.
His uncle. Uncle incest, yeah.
His uncle already there.
Yeah, beat him to the punch.
Yeah, and he is still bitter, apparently, about the eye.
Yeah, he was upset about the eye. He's like, let me take your eye.
Apparently losing an eye, you know, it's a big thing, you know. You have another one.
I don't know. Could I do this for the rest of my life?
Never mind. Anyway.
You can't really get depth perception, I think, if you...
Anyway.
Okay. So, but the good thing is Lord Baratheon does intervene and does say, hey, you know, he's an envoy, don't touch him. But all the while, in terms of negotiation, Lucerys had nothing to negotiate with because Aemon offered his daughter's hand in marriage. And unfortunately, I mean, when I was watching the conversation unfold, I'm like, he acted as kids often do. Like, they just tell the truth, right? It's like he didn't say anything to be like, oh yeah, I'll marry your daughter, and then of course go back and be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna marry your daughter.
Also, you know, I'm pretty sure Lord Baratheon already knew. That's why he asked the question. It was a rhetorical question.
You think so? I mean, you think it's that smart? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that smart. I think it's just, you know, it was announced. It was already been announced that Rhaenyra was going to promise her children to
Daemon's children.
Yeah. Which actually now that makes it a lot more weirder because they're Daemon's children, but now he's a father because he's married to Rhaenyra. But at the same time,
the good thing about it is it's not really ancestral because
it is ancestral. Because they're all Targaryen line. They're all from the Targaryen heritage.
Oh, that is true. That they are still ancestral.
They're cousins.
Because Rhaenyra, and then of course Daemon. Oh goodness.
Yeah, they're all cousins.
Like, we're all okay with it. We're okay with it. That's so gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Lucerys is ordered to leave because there's nothing to offer, and he goes
rides away by Dragonback.
Yeah.
And then gets followed by Aemond in his bigger, more adult dragon.
Vhagar.
Yeah, Vhagar. And then the two go into this chase. and
did you like the chase? I mean, it was pretty creepy when you see Saraxes like flying, and then you see Vagar just flying over Saraxes.
well, it was really cool to see the size comparison.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you don't really get a true sense of how big not Viserys, what's the dragon's name?
Saraxes.
No, the big one.
Oh, Vagar.
You don't really get a sense of how big Vagar really is until you compare him to other dragons.
Yeah.
Side by side, right? Because like Saraxes looks like a tiny little baby compared to him.
Yeah.
It was like,
so
I mean, the differences were uncanny, and it looked like he could literally kill him with the whip of a tail.
Whip of a tail or one breath of fire. For me, I already knew the outcome. I honestly felt that the writers may have changed the story a little bit when he hit. So one thing that they had mentioned in the books was that Saraxes should have been able to outmaneuver and outfly Vagar because he was able to. He's smaller, right, and more nimble.
And he did in the chase.
I mean, he did, but then in the story they say that because of the wind and the rain at Storm's End, it was hard for him to maneuver because of the wind, right? And that's what led to the situation that had occurred. But when the TV show kind of portrayed it, it seemed like he had gone out of the storm, which made us all made me believe as a story reader that he was safe, because then he'd be able to outmaneuver Vagar. That was what I was expecting. And, it actually lowered my guard because I was like, oh, he flew out to safety, because in the books, he actually gets eaten during the storm. And they were saying that the storm is what caused the difference in.
So, well, I mean, again, then that's a matter of because the books are a collection of
Meister sayings.
Meisters saying different accounts of what actually happened.
It's so
funny.
It
looked like they're what they're doing. It feels like they're combining both accounts from multiple sources into one.
Or they're just showing us the real thing.
Well, that's the perception of what they think would have probably.
You think that at the end it'd be like, and that's the story.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at the very end they have someone closing a book. Like, that's how Dance of the Dragon ends.
Dance of the Dragons went.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy my story?
Yeah.
So funny.
And then, it'd be cool if it cuts to the next series of Game of Thrones with no, not Jon Snow. Well, maybe Jon Snow, but I was gonna say,
aren't they working on the sequel? Jon Snow sequel.
Jon Snow sequel. They're also working on a sequel for not Sansa, but Arya.
Arya, yeah. You think Maisie Williams looks weird these days. Did you see what Maisie Williams looks like? Whoever's editing this, just show a picture of Maisie Williams now.
Man, what are we doing? Bullying children now?
No, have you seen?
No, I don't really care. Why does it matter?
Because it's wild. You don't even recognize her.
That's what children do when they grew up.
Really? They get rid of their eyebrows?
They change.
Anyway, so we end in a very drab moment with Rhaenyra kind of looking at the fire. Daemon whispers in her ear what had occurred. I don't know how Daemon figured out that, that had actually happened.
Also very... that was another point. It's how did they find out so fast? It was in the middle of a storm.
Yeah,
I guess one of Luke's body parts floated down river.
Oh, we found a body part. It looks.
And then we also found dragon bits chomped on.
Yeah, some dragon scales down the road. Honestly, I don't know how Daemon found out. Hopefully, they do explain what had occurred.
I don't think that matters. Anyway, they did find out, but now the question is, what is Aemon going to do? Because it looked like he wasn't planning on killing him.
Yeah, Aemon totally looked oblivious. And honestly, I think both writers were trying very hard to make sure that their dragons were not going to fight.
Well, they did a poor job, especially Aemon, because, Vagar just...
Well, they were speaking in High Valyrian, and I remember he's like, Saraxes, calm down, Saraxes. Don't, hey, stop it. And then And everyone's like, no, stop it. And then the dragons kind of just went, rawr.
Yeah, and then Valerian, Syraxis got killed, like
head
eaten.
bitten off. Yeah.
No, it wasn't his head. It was his entire body.
Yeah. Let's play the clip. You know, that was another thing in the CG. Like, you could see that he bit his head, but there was tails flying around. I don't know.
There was everything. There was everything flying around.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that. It was like literally everything. Because
it was one bite.
that one jaw was so big, it literally encompassed the entire dragon.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, good news is I don't think Luke felt pain.
Yeah.
I think it was quick and painless. Well, relatively painless.
Unless, you know what would be painful is that if he got bitten, well, it felt a little bit pain and then fell to his doom.
Yeah, okay, fine. Maybe pain for like a split second, like the initial puncture, but then, nothing else after that. Because I'm pretty sure that he died very, very quick.
Very quick, yeah.
Yeah. Too quick. Yep. So now that would be grounds for war.
Yeah, and that's why Rhaenyra does have a very important choice to make. Should she take the High Towers to war? Because she didn't respond right to Alicent.
Her response was, she wasn't going to back down, but at the same time, she wasn't going to initiate war or initiate the conflict, right?
Kind of similar to Alicent, because Alicent seemed like she didn't really want to kill Rhaenyra, is what it looked like.
Well, she definitely did, and that's why she sent her father as an envoy to negotiate.
Destroy the envoy. I guess there is a rule for envoys. I wonder if anyone can tell us in the comments below. What is the rules for envoys?
Don't shoot the messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story. Season 1. Game of the end. We're done.
Yeah.
This is the first,
anyway,
this is the first show we actually made all the way through.
The question is now, what is Aemon going to do about it?
Yeah. So we shall see in season 2. Who knows when that's
No, what is Aemon going to do about it?
I mean, I know the answer. Do you want me to tell you?
No, don't tell me.
Okay. Then why are you gonna? Yeah. I mean, for him, obviously, it was an accident in his eye. His eye. I guess I can't say it was an accident in his eyes. It was an accident in his eye.
In his eye.
In his eye.
One good eye.
Yeah, his one good eye. Yeah. So, I mean, essentially, we'll just see what happens in season 2. So make sure you like and subscribe. We're going to be covering season 2. As soon as it comes out, hopefully it won't take forever like it did this
season. You mean
season.
it won't take like
all of our seasons.
2.5 months?
I wonder if people watching is like, hey, how come they never did like for other shows? Like, oh, how come they didn't do like Obi-Wan?
I'm sure anyone that looks through our YouTube upload history will notice that we don't finish anything.
Choose the ones. People are just here for the party. We just choose the ones we want to do and we talk about it, and then we call it a day.
Yeah, and they never finish the series.
Yeah. So make sure to like and subscribe. Tell us in the comments below, what's gonna happen with Aemon, and we'll see you next time. Peace.